Hi, I'm back. It's 9:55 p.m. at night. So thanks to whoever helped me out um with enough for, you know, enough hotel rooms so I won't have to be on the streets. So I had enough for 2 nights. Enough help for 2 nights. Um so today tonight and tomorrow night I have um you know a room for tonight and tomorrow night, and then Saturday morning, I would have to try to ask for help again. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Okay. So, well, I went to work today, and it wasn't too bad. Excuse me. But I had another experience with directed conversation with the coworkers or whatever, you know. And um, last night in the video on the YouTube, I mentioned about, briefly about security guard, from the incident with the Hilton. And, so one of the workers came to the front and made a joke when I went to check up on and try to, you know, keep the silverware stocked up. And when I went to, I think to put some more silverware out there and take some of the bus tubs back, um, one of the workers had joked about a security guard, and he was joking amongst the women who were served the food. And, I just heard something about security guard and chocolate covered strawberries. And then the ladies joked about something. I don't remember exactly what they said, but um, you know, something about be careful, or else you'll wind up on YouTube tonight, or somebody will talk about you on YouTube tonight, or something that they joked and laughed and said, you know. And I'm like, oh, they must know about my YouTube videos or something. I don't know. But, so, um, earlier today, pretty much, they had the little bitty guy that was working, he was washing the dishes by himself. And, he was nice and, no problem at all, really. And so then, I went to lunch, and the big girl with the with that Masonic red, dyed, like the one who did the directed conversation with the bathroom yesterday. I mean, in the bathroom yesterday about the $400 in the weekly hotel and stuff like that. If she started the job the day I did. So how the hell she got $400 or got money, but I don't get the first paycheck until next week. She started the same day I started. So she mentioned about, or maybe she might have another job or something. I don't know. but she get more hours to work than I do. You know, she works more hours than I do, and I don't know if she get paid higher, but I still don't know her name. But you know, that's the big girl that would make remarks that about me eating or whatever. But today, I mean, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even be concerned about what other people eat. But you know, if she try to make me out to be greedy or whatever, but she got two dinner rolls with her food or whatever. But the other day she mentioned something about that she like to get two dinner rolls or something. But if I got two dinner rolls, I would be called greedy for it. So anyway, um, when I went on my lunch break, um, she had me just being respectful, even though I know she's a perp, but you know, me being like just respectful and courteous or whatever. I said hi, and she gave me this weird um stare and didn't say hi back. And kind of had a little bit of weird attitude or whatever. And then, when I went to get my food fixed, um, she offered to scoop, one of the side items or whatever. And then, I went and got my food, ate, whatever, and she done freaking went to go eat, take the lunch break and eat the same time that I did. But it looked like she sat down and ate and was there for like no longer than 10 minutes and then left to go who knows where. But, it took me nearly the whole hour, not quite the whole hour, but um, nah, probably over. It took me, no, not the whole hour, but I think um, at least 45 minutes, it took me to have my lunch break. And then I went in, I clocked back in and went back to work a little bit sooner before the hour was up. But most of the time, I usually take the whole hour. But I was waiting around to pay for the lunch, but um, they haven't discounted anything, and I was told to come back later on for dinner. For the dinner hours, pay for both lunch and dinner or whatever. Because sometimes during the lunch hour, they don't have it ready. Um, so nobody told me, but after some time, I found out that they put a sticker. I mean, they put a piece of tape in your receipt, and they tape it by a certain spot for all the employees who pay for their meals and eat. And then like nobody told me that the first day or the second day or even the third day. But after a while, I found out I had to find out certain things on my own, you know, or figure out certain things on my own with the job. So then, you know, I went and worked some more, and the guy Evan, um, I don't know, he seemed pretty like rude and like he had like an attitude towards me. So, but last week he seemed to acted like he was fake passionate and fake sympathetic about saying that he would hate to see me be homeless on the streets and having a job and working all at the same time. And he was like, take down my number, and oh, I don't want to see you on the streets, and oh, you can come stay by my mom or whatever. But today, he treated me today how how the Chad guy treated me yesterday, but Chad was off from work today, I guess, Chad and Krishan, so, but I just kind of, I don't even know if Evan meant to have an attitude or be a little rude or whatever, but, I just try to, stay out of his way or whatever, because sometimes he be a little weird too, you know. And then so you know, I felt the sleep deprived feeling and sluggish all day long. And off and on certain moments I would feel cold, feel like I would need a jacket or something. Well, I do have my hoodie and my other coat, but um, I be feeling a little bit cold up in there, And so then after lunch, I felt a little bit better and a little bit more energetic and more focused, um, and was able to perform a little bit better with my job, you know. So, I mean, like before lunch, I felt like I was suffering, with feeling the sleep deprived feeling and having difficulty performing, what I needed to do. But I still got it done. But it just, my body and my mind like, felt like I was being tortured because of feeling sleep deprived and still pushing myself to continue to work and, continue working, you know. So then for dinner, um, I clocked out and um and the big girl with the red dreads that, the one who did the bathroom director conversation and the one who would make greedy jokes about me, you know. Um, so, when I was trying to, like, they say we can fix our own food, we employees, but I'd be afraid to fix my own food. I might get my own side items because you can like fill it up and put it in the the small little bowl. But with the plates and the regular entrees, I'd be afraid to fix my own food because I don't know how much I'm allowed to or supposed to put. And I usually, serve my own bread or whatever, but I don't know how much I'm allowed to, or certain food. I don't know how much I'm allowed to or supposed to get, So um, I'd be afraid that that they would yell at me, you know, if I got like a plate of food, and if they might, I'd be afraid that if they might yell at me for having too much, or I'd be afraid that if I don't have enough, then I might be cheating myself. So I don't know how much, like how many scoops of, like if I wanted the red beans or rice, how many scoops do I put on there? I don't know how much I put on there, or how much do y'all usually put on there? Or do I just get one scoop of rice and then y'all put like 4 scoops of beef stew like from yesterday, So I mean, if I would have put one scoop of rice and one scoop of stew, then you know, then I guess I probably would have been unknowingly or unintentionally cheating myself. But if I would have put like, as much as I wanted, then I would be afraid of, if I got yelled at or told that that's too much or I'm being too greedy or whatever, or if they might falsely accuse me of stealing or something. So that's why I try to ask them to do it. How that's why I try to ask them. You know, but Mr. Jeffrey was extremely nice all day today. He was very nice today. But Mr. Troy, he didn't tell me much of nothing today, really. You know, so um, but um, so the big person, I don't know her name, with the red dread, the perp with the red dreaded ponytail. And she doesn't even sound like she's from New Orleans. She talks like country or whatever. But I don't know if she might be from Mississippi. She might be from Chicago. I don't know where she's from. But she's definitely, not from New Orleans. But excuse me. So, you know, I was trying to get some fries. Just a small amount of fries. And I mean, I wasn't trying to ask her specifically, but anybody, if anybody that was serving could serve me the fries, because like even the fries, it's a side item, but that was one of the items that it's not in the bowl, so it's on a little plate or something. So I had never gotten the fries before. I'm still kind of new, so I would be afraid that excuse me, that they would yell at me or tell me something if I got fries the wrong way or something. So to stay on the safe side, I try to ask if anybody else, any of the other workers could fix it, you know, to save me from getting yelled at, you know. Or they might say you got the wrong kind of plate or you got this or. So now the big girl, she offered to scoop up my carrot souffle earlier. But then she got an attitude and kind of mumbled something underneath her breath and blatantly refused to help me out with fixing the fries or whatever. And I couldn't hear everything she mumbled underneath her breath. you know so but even yesterday she's like, hey Candy, right when, like, to let me know that she knew that I was in the bathroom. Like, she went to use the bathroom the same time I had to use the bathroom, and then I heard that directed conversation. But today she didn't want to be friendly or say hi or nothing at all. But I don't even want to be friendly with any of these perps anyway. you know but excuse me, my throat. But then the young white girl, she usually doesn't tell me much of anything. But um, when I was trying to get help with getting the fries or whatever, she seemed like she kind of had a little bit of an attitude and like I was in her way or something. But she had never really treated me like that before. And I don't even really, speak to her, that much or whatever. So, thankfully, I was able to have, the the lunch and dinner, and I have enough for two hotel nights, tonight and tomorrow night, and I have enough um for food tomorrow. So between tonight and tomorrow night, until Saturday morning, I'm financially, I'm good. But then Saturday, you know, I might have to ask for help in advance tomorrow for Saturday, so that it won't be like at the last minute. And then it kind of rained a little bit today, but I don't know if it's supposed to rain tonight, but it sprinkled a little bit, especially when I was coming over here from the job. The rain was sprinkling a little bit. Hold on, I gotta use the bathroom. So I didn't even have to it's not like I was holding my pee in for a long time. It's like I just suddenly just had to like have feeling like normal, and then just suddenly have to go pee, like stop myself in my tracks and go pee and run to the bathroom, and like I'm nearly about to pee on myself. Excuse me. That's how it is with the forced urination. Um, you know, but when I was taking Risperdal my senior year in high school, that psychiatric medication Risperdal, it used to give me that forced urination kind of feeling, and I was incontinent. You know, excuse me. So, excuse me. So like when I came here, there's like a tiny bit of fresh blood, just a little bit, on the middle pillow. Um, you know, well, I'm not gonna raise it up, but the middle pillow, like under the, like on the right under the middle pillow, you know, but it wasn't like the room I was in yesterday, you know. Excuse me. So, um, now I had reserved online. Um, I reserved online the room for 2 nights, and then um, when the man charged it, it seemed like the price of an amount that was less than the amount for 1 night. But then I told him about it, and you know, I was trying to make everything clear on my side and on their end as well. You know, I didn't want any confusion or you know, and so my bank was saying you know, the amount for less an amount that was less than 1 night, but the amount that that I was supposedly charged, in which the amount for 2 nights was not showing on my account. So I told him about it, and he swears up and down that I was charged for both nights, but I try to show him the screenshot of the mistake of the computer, but then he says everything is fine. So I'm nervous about that. You know, excuse me, even though I know it's not my fault at all, you know. So, but yeah, some of the work co-workers seem like they be acting weird, you know. They be acting weird sometimes. But some of the other ones, I'd be surprised at how nice they are, you know. So, hmm. Yeah. Excuse me. But I mean, there were a few things that um I needed to say that I kept forgetting to say. But one thing I remember now is my MP3 player that I lost. I found it, and I'm glad it still works. It got some moisture in it, but I'm glad it works. Excuse me. I'm glad it still works. So I was afraid that with the MP3 players, I was afraid that I would have had to end up buying more, you know, because in the other one, um, it got like liquid damage, and last I knew it didn't work, but I don't know if it will work still. So, you know, the last time I listened to any of my Christian songs was one time when I was in Bloomington, Texas. And that was like this past June. But before that, when I was in Cincinnati and riding the buses, you know, for a couple of weeks or a few weeks, I would listen to the songs on my MP3 player all the time. But now, I mean, I just only been listening to the waterfowl sounds, the white noise, you know, as a medical device to try to block out the outside noise, you know. So there was another thing or two I um needed to say, but I forgot. It slipped my mind, you know. My throat is I have a little mucus in my throat. But at the job, I realized it's a lot of canned foods. A lot of canned food and a lot of processed or packaged foods. You know, so but um, lunch and dinner, what they lunch and dinner were both good today. Well, I was surprised. I really liked the baked chicken for dinner today. Excuse me. But yesterday when I had the beef stew, I felt like it was so nasty I wanted to cry, but I made myself eat it. You know, um, I guess next time I don't think I'll get it again. Excuse me. So, and last night the beans and rice didn't. The red beans and rice didn't taste all that good. But you know, but at least one fresh vegetable that I mean, they had cabbage for dinner. So, you know, since they don't have cabbage like all the time, I was glad to get some cabbage. Some fresh, at least that as at least one fresh vegetable, you know. Excuse me. So, I'm trying to think up ways on, you know, how I can excuse me, eat um the food at the job. how I can eat more nutritious or healthier. And one of my one big weakness is the dessert. I don't have the dessert every single day, but most days I've been having this dessert and I've been breaking my promise and failing at my goals, you know. So tomorrow I need to tell myself no dessert, you know. Excuse me, no dessert tomorrow. But it's like well, with me staying here, I will not drink that milk anymore. Um, but um, it looks like I'll just have to have like a muffin every as long as I'm here. If I'm not on the streets, I will have to have like a muffin every day until I get my paycheck. And then, once I get the paycheck, I can have more liberty, to have whatever I want. Excuse me. So, like this coming month, I'm gonna need for myself. I will be able to get it myself, you know. But I would like, how when you have certain necessities or hygiene items or something, and you ran out of everything, and at the same time, um, you need everything. You need to replenish and restock on, everything that you need. You know, so excuse me. I mean, I'm feeling like overwhelmed, you know, about a lot of different things, but I I know I've always been like emotionally sensitive, you know, all my life. And I feel like, it's very hard for me to try to for me to I don't know how to, just not let the coworker, the whoever, or the perps in general, you know, to not let them get underneath my skin. I be easily bothered. Um, you know, excuse me. I be easily bothered, by being treated a certain way, But I should just practice, you know, to stay out of everybody's way and stay to myself, you know. But last night, the page perp and another coworker, the other coworker, she got that red hair, but I don't think she's a perp. I mean, I don't know if she's a perp or not. But I'll say the other lady doesn't really act like a perp. But the page person and the other lady, excuse me, they made remarks about my legs being so swollen yesterday, you know. And when I was looking for, excuse me, my nose itching. When I was looking for having to buy my own black socks, black this, black pants, black shoes, whatever, for that jeggings job. Since I carry all my belongings in my backpack, I couldn't buy like a pack of socks. So those diabetic socks, you know, um, excuse me, the only one that type of socks that I was able to find that was black and one single pack, I mean one single pair, was those diabetic socks. I'm not diabetic, but you know the diabetic socks, with that they have for your swollen legs, and maybe my legs must have gotten used to those socks, because the first 2 weeks, every day wearing them to work at this job, the socks would be so tight on my legs that it made me come close. The pain was so intense and unbearable that made me almost on the verge of crying like every day. But now the socks don't seem like they hurt as much. Excuse me. I got hard mucus in my throat and chest. So I need to try to exercise discipline. No dessert tomorrow. No dessert tomorrow. But, in addition to the meal, with us being employed, the dessert is under $2, you know. Excuse me. And sometimes, like, I may have enough money just for the meal and no dessert. And I don't eat the dessert twice, like for lunch and dinner, just mostly for lunch. But I think a time or two I may have had the dessert for dinner. But I need to discipline myself. No dessert, or maybe once or twice a week dessert. You know, and excuse me, if people will say that you know that you can always replace money, but you can't really replace your health. Well, sometimes money can't be replaced, loss of money or whatever. But people say you really can't replace your health. So, you know, I mean, yesterday was, I think it was the dinner. Um, was it yesterday or the day before? Um, yeah, one of the meals, I think it was yesterday. I had a small little salad, you know, but yeah, for the breakfast at this hotel, you know, eating just either a banana nut or chocolate muffin, you know, and I can't drink the milk because it'd be like cold on the outside the container, but once you drink it, it's lukewarm and tastes kind of sour. But and it'd be sitting out on the counter for a long time. But the so I had like just a banana nut muffin and some and a small cup of apple juice this morning. You know, excuse me. So like this morning, when I told the housekeepers about the blood on the floor and on the this thing right here, um, this thing, I don't know what you call it, um, see this thing right here, this is not the comforter, but this white thing is the comforter. So this thing that goes over the comforter, yeah, it was blood, a little bit of blood on there, and a little bit of blood on the floor in the other room yesterday. So when I told them about it, they said, "That's your blood. Like, no, it's not my blood. It was somebody, it might have not been the people right before me. It might have been, people before the people that were before me. Who knows? But there's a tiny bit of blood on the, um, let me see. Hold up. You see it? It's a very small, um, you know, of someone else's blood that was there before I got in here. Then I noticed it. You know, I'm not bleeding anywhere. Excuse me, I'm not bleeding anywhere. But as I said, like, I be wondering if people be doing drugs or something. You know, but excuse me. But yeah, I hate this forced, unstable life that that I have to live due to the gang stalking. I don't call it a lifestyle because I don't choose it. I don't choose to live like this, you know. So I'm sitting here trying to survive the best way I know how. Um, because people always want to talk about this and that. Well, that's unfair to other people, or it's unfair, unfair to everybody else. Well, I'm at a disadvantage being homeless. It's unfair for the gang stalking cult network to force me to be homeless and be forced to have to live life and that's far more expensive. And they say that homelessness is more expensive than housing, and it's very true. You know, so excuse me. I mean, I can't even have like a permanent residence due to the gang stalking. So how am I supposed to live? And then y'all rob me of my peace, rob me of my home, rob me of everything else, and then you call me entitled and narcissistic for fighting to get back what y'all stole from me, or what y'all forced me to have to lose. You know, so I don't feel like as if I'm entitled to other people's, money or anything like that. But like dealing with this gang stalking, like I be days of sleep deprived and then have to be homeless on the streets and struggling to survive and have like little to no money for food and you know I be days of sleep deprived, so I be already grouchy and grumpy and then being more upset at the fact that people treat me like I deserve to be punished behind lies, you know. So when I try to panhandle on the streets, when I'm homeless on the streets, and I be like, you know, get upset, I end up panicking and wondering, how am I supposed to survive? Help, help, you know. But, excuse me, you know, I mean, now that I have a job, you know, I don't have to panhandle or ask for help every single day. But due to my living circumstance, that compared to the ratio of, excuse me, my nose, um, of me having to stay in hotels and motels or whatever, and they sabotaged my extended stay opportunity. Excuse me. So, I mean, the amount, I mean, the part-time job that I have, that compared to me having to stay in hotels or whatever, I would still have to be struggling on the streets. I like y'all sabotage my low income housing, and now you sabotage the excuse me, the extended stay. So, I've been still diligently trying to look for a place, a possible place where I can live, and due to my disability and the targeting, I can't do roommates. Excuse me, I can't do roommates. It's scary and dangerous dealing with roommates. I mean, in 2007, with that homeless program in New York, they put me in this, I guess, SRO. They wouldn't even allow me to have my own place. And with the SRO, in Brooklyn, New York, um, they weren't gonna do anything. And excuse me, and nobody believed me when I was trying to tell them that my roommate kept repeatedly trying to murder me. You know, she kept on pulling knives on me all the time. And she was an alcoholic, and supposedly had PTSD from war. But she was abusive and narcissistic. You know, excuse me, and so yeah, she was abusive and narcissistic, and like nobody wanted to help me, and nobody believed me when I was trying to report that she kept trying to pull knives on me and kept trying to kill me. You know, excuse me. And so recently, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a YouTube video about a man, an elderly man. A man killed another man. Like he killed his roommate over some Taco Bell. I guess his roommate stole his Taco Bell or stole his food or whatever, and he killed him over it. You know, excuse me. So, and I mean, I'm traumatized. I'm scared of having roommates, and I'm scared of and don't trust living with people. You know, excuse me. Online, I saw oh, excuse me. They kept on recommending me all these videos of people fighting or people getting beat up. And downtown New Orleans, perps kept trying to fight me every day. You know. So I mean, with me trying to expose or show foot, or I mean, filming my gang stalking, even over in this area, I had a couple of perps who acted like when I filmed the videos, excuse me, they acted like they wanted to fight me or hurt me or whatever. But people always want to say the gang stalkers ain't gonna put their hands on you or they ain't gonna do you nothing. Well, I have gotten assaulted by perps before, you know. So perps can and will put their hands on you. People try to make it like, oh, just ignore them. They just just ignore them because they're just all talk or whatever. But no, they will put their hands on you. Excuse me, they will put their hands on you. So, I've always been a scary person. Always been fearful. But, excuse me, dealing with the gang stalking, it helped me to be more courageous, you know. But the video that I saw a couple of days ago, one of the videos that was recommended to me, you know, and I felt traumatized. Like, please, no more videos of people fighting. And this traumatizing video that I saw of two black females having like an all-out fist fight in like what looked like a fast food restaurant. And one girl got the other girl on the floor. And oh man, it made me almost want to break down in tears. And like it really traumatized me. That one girl, I just saw like in the video there was like some blood skeeting off the girl's face. And then I don't know what happened to the girl, what happened to her left eye. You know, the other girl, she didn't pull her eye out, but maybe she punched her so hard that, blood, just start, like it just traumatized and really scared me. But, the online perps, when I would expose the gang stalking, the online perps think that one day that I deserve to be hurt or killed. And it was even more painful that coming from my twin sister saying that. And they falsely making like I'm the troublemaker harassing people when I am being harassed and gang stalked and filming and recording everything that they're doing or documenting what they're doing, Okay, so this somebody made a smart ass remark on one of my videos saying another job. Um excuse me. So yeah, but yeah, I got this hard mucus. Excuse me. Um, but I remember today's February 22nd. Okay, it was February 20th. It was a Thursday. Today's Thursday, February 22nd. It was a Thursday, February 20th. 1997. It was a Thursday, February 20th, 1997. Um, I only saw the aftermath. I didn't see excuse me, the physical incident. But this girl named Kiva, not from the fake IDMR cult, but another Kiva that I went to school with, Gretna Junior High, and and so like um that Kiva, you know, got beat in the face with a lock, and her entire face was bloody. Um, and I heard multiple different versions of the story. Excuse me. So I didn't even see the physical fight, but I only saw the aftermath of Kiva walking with the teacher, Miss Madare, or one of those teachers was held Kiva's hand and and sent her to the office, and then the other girls, they were held by their hands, and I don't even know if Kiva got jumped or beat up by two girls, but she got beat in the face with a lot, and her entire face was bloody. Excuse me. And Lanika from the Masonic Smelly Craft family was like close friends with Kiva. And I heard that Lanika just sat there and laughed. But Lanika and Kiva were supposedly like not best friends, but friends. And so who the hell would sit there and let their friend get beat in the face with a lock, and you don't even defend your friend or jump in? Excuse me. And so the beating was so bad that Kiva's mom used to be a teacher at Gretna Junior High. And that year, like the woman was teaching there when we were in 7th grade, but then she took a sabbatical when we were in 8th grade, and I don't remember if she was there when we were in 9th grade. But maybe because of the incident, maybe the mom didn't excuse me. Maybe the mom didn't decide to go back. I don't remember. But earlier that morning I saw, like, when we got on the bus, when the bus was arriving and pulling into the parking lot, into the schoolyard, Kiva had I saw Kiva's mom dropping her off, and she got you know she got I saw Kiva getting out of her mom's truck. But I think I overheard that Kiva lost so much blood that she passed out, or she could have died or something like that. But then I saw her face, like she had like a bang, like over, like with her hair, she had a bang over her head. Like a hair bang. The style of having like when your hair is short, like the front of your hair. So I don't know if she had the bang to hide the scar or the wound or whatever, but as far as I know, 12 days later, it looked like as if nothing ever happened to her. You know, and just like when I heard that when Chris Brown supposedly beat Rihanna, I heard that was a psyop, and then you know, and a couple of days later, or a few weeks later, it looked like as if nothing ever happened. You know, but when Kiba got beat, that was the real deal. But then, like, I did not, and then I did not realize that I didn't remember what the exact date was, but I remember I was traumatized from what I saw happen to Kiva, and traumatized for years from just seeing the aftermath of what happened. Excuse me. But then, you know, the I did not realize, thinking back, that it was an exact precise year later that I had the situation with, Lanika, with the track meet situation, where she kept antagonizing, bullying, and provoking me, and I got sick and tired of it, and I blacked out and punched her. It wasn't even premeditated, but I blacked out and punched her. It was a Friday, February 20th, 1998. And I blacked out and punched her and didn't realize until immediately after. And I probably was days of sleep deprived, and suffering deep depression because of the foster grandma, Mildred Collins, that she had passed away, you know, and the foster mom scapegoated me about the sexual situation. But I didn't even realize that, come to think of it, that Lanika was perping me, you know, and then I blacked out and punched her and didn't realize until almost immediately after, you know. So excuse me, and then I had 2 strokes when I was 5, so I can't really damage anybody seriously, you know, with a physical altercation, but you know, I mean, even from 7th grade, Lanika used to do stuff like trip us in the hallway and laugh and think it's funny, or do a bunch of other cruel stuff to us. And then I started to physically assault her back, you know, or and then I started to push her or punch her, or trying to get revenge or whatever, and so yeah, I blacked out and punched her and didn't realize until almost after. It wasn't even premeditated. And it was about her calling me greedy. Excuse me. That trigger word, greedy. And you know, and then she had on those stupid mini black sunglasses, you know, and she thought that wearing those sunglasses was fake proof of her being grown, you know. And so she didn't even have a black eye, and she was just you know she didn't even have a black eye, but she just had, like, she was just humiliated or embarrassed, and like the sunglasses were knocked off of her face. And then she started to over exaggerate, pretend to fake shake and cry, you know, for hours. Now, like, she wasn't even hit that hard, but all those times she would clip us or trip us in the hallway on purpose and force us to, you know, like run into or fall into the locker or something, excuse me. And she even used to do cruel stuff to my twin sister too, brutal stuff to my twin sister too, you know. So, and I don't remember the other types of assaults that she used to do to us, But she been bullying me from 7th grade, and even in 8th and 9th grade. Excuse me. And then, eventually you freaking had enough of being antagonized, bullied, harassed, and laughed at. Excuse me. And she wasn't even supposed to be the manager of the track team. You know, so it's like the only thing that happened was the many black sunglasses fell off her face. You know, and me having so much anger built up because the foster mom scapegoated me, saying that it was my fault she couldn't say the last words to her mom when it was truly Lanika's fault. When Lanika hyped up the sexual situations that happened, and around the time where the foster grandma Mildred Collins passed away, and then I became targeted, or my life had changed for the worse ever since then. And the foster mom says my fault, and she kept throwing that in my face, and so that also contributed to me, you know, when I hit Lanika or whatever, But Lanika, all those times she assaulted and did stuff to us and thought it was funny, you know. So, but but I mean, she would like punch or assault people and then laugh, you know. And so everything was funny to her. And so then you know, excuse me. So I mean, me being targeted and scapegoated, about, the foster mom's death. The foster mom blamed me for it to protect that Craft family, you know, because they got all they even the foster mom, they all got Masonic connections. So I guess she decided to scapegoat somebody who doesn't have Masonic connections, you know. Because if the foster mom would have rightfully blamed Lanika, she probably would have caught hell with the Craft family, you know. So she went and scapegoated me. And so I got, I'm going to say wrongfully kicked off the track team because that abusive, narcissistic, masculine track coach, Miss Christmas, she already had a certain kind of hate and prejudice towards me, you know. So, excuse me. So yeah, but when Lanika assaults people, she never, nothing ever happens to her. But I just got kicked off the track team. I didn't get suspended from school. Um, I didn't get suspended from school, and I didn't, you know, I didn't get suspended from school, and I was afraid I was gonna get arrested and go to jail, uh, because the police showed up a couple of hours later at the track meet. But that was the first track meet, and for that year, and I ran track in seventh grade, you know. But for some reason, I didn't run track in eighth grade, but I tried again in ninth grade, and but yeah, I mean, I don't. Sometimes I sometimes wonder if that incident got me put on a gang stalking list, or if or Lanika's dad got me put on the gang stalking list, or if it was the foster mom herself when the foster mom scapegoated me about losing her mother. And the foster mom, started making my life a living hell. And then the abuse got worse. And then the abuse got even worse after I turned 18. You know, yeah. So, I mean, like one time, like I decided to get back. I'm not doing martial arts anymore because I did not know that it was new age. So I was like 21 years old in 2005 before Hurricane Katrina. And and taekwondo, we've been taking taekwondo I think since first grade all the way through third grade, and then they used to do cruel abusive stuff towards us at taekwondo, karate. And I don't think no, not in kindergarten, it was first grade. And Wyatt's friend, the biological brother Wyatt's classmate or friend Leon, um introduced us to taekwondo. And then when we were in third grade, the foster mom, she had us to quit going. And then um, when I was 20, 21 years old, I got back into taekwondo, and the taekwondo karate people were the same kind of abusive from when I was little, you know. And, I mean, so I think when I was in third grade, I stopped at green belt. But then I guess I started back again at green belt, and then I got up to blue belt. But um but like the biological sister Ramona manipulated for me to be forced to waste my money. The money went to waste because Ramona was trying to stop me from going, take, like, physically stop me, physically in action, hold me back. Not psychologically or verbally, but physically, like, you know, hold me in her house and not allow me to go to taekwondo courses or whatever. Well, Ramona, you did me a favor. So I didn't know that taekwondo was new age and occultic and stuff like that, and satanic. So no more taekwondo for me. But I was losing 2 pounds a day with taekwondo. I was losing weight real fast. And so they had this 15-year-old girl. I was 21. And they forced me to spar, they forced me to spar against more than one 15-year-old girl. I was 21, and they wanted me to spar and fight against kids. And so, you know, and so the 15-year-old, like when I was fighting against the 15-year-old white girls, I was, my physical disability, I mean, I was defenseless, and it seemed like they had more physical strength than me. It seemed like they fight worse than a man. I can't even beat my own twin sister in a physical fight. The last time I was able to physically beat my own twin sister in a fight probably was, our sophomore year in high school, maybe. But even my own twin sister fights worse than a man. And the biological sister Ramona fight worse than a man. And they hit really hard, But Miss Diana from the fake taekwondo, she forced me to spar against a little boy. I don't remember how old he was. But, it seemed like, and I think even during taekwondo, they were gang stalking. Miss Diana was a perp, an abusive narcissistic perp. And her, you know, it seemed like they wanted to set me up to fail, you know, and it seemed like all that taekwondo and all that, and it's like it was a waste of money, money I didn't even have or couldn't really afford, you know. So I mean, yeah, but yeah, Miss Diana Dunlap. She was a freaking perp and played all kinds of psychological games, and she tried to set me up to spar against a younger boy, and then you know me being afraid to like use any strength to fight this little boy, and then they would try to encourage me to fight harder or hit harder or whatever, and then when I got more aggressive, then they trying to make it like as if I was trying to kill him. Well, y'all wanted me to be more aggressive, and I didn't want to be more aggressive, you know. But I forgot what it was. It was before it was definitely before I went to Costa Rica and before Hurricane Katrina that I forgot exactly what happened that I with the taekwondo and the karate. I didn't even stay there for that long, but I quit. I was almost to a red belt, and then after red belt is black belt. But I didn't know that karate was a Satanism or New Age. That taekwondo or whatever or martial arts is demonic. I even heard that Tai Chi is demonic and New Age or whatever, and certain other martial arts. But I'm not sure about Kung Fu or anything like that. I never took Kung Fu. But you would think that somebody took Taekwondo and I still don't know how to fight. Candy Grand Prix, I don't know how to fight. Candy Grand Prix does not know how to fight. I never professed to know how to fight. And and I don't even it's like if I try to kick somebody, I would hurt my own foot trying to kick somebody, Or if I try to punch somebody or punch a wall or something, I hurt my own fist or hurt my own arm, hurt my own hand trying to punch something or punch somebody. Excuse me. So, but I remember, I tried my best not to hit back or fight back, but when I got beat up in Pensacola, um, and then later on, I was physically assaulted in 2022 in Pensacola, but I'm forbidden and not allowed to talk about it on my own channel. You know, so two incidences where I had been throughout the time I was in Pensacola where I got physically assaulted, but people would threaten me all the time. You know, but and one time when I was living in New Orleans Towers, they had this boy, one of the neighbors, her sons, he was 10 and I probably was 20 or 21 years old. And we were play fighting. The mom was there, We were play fighting, and the boy was 10 years old. He was obese and overweight, but he was shorter than me, but he was 10 years old. And it's like I could, even with play fighting, I couldn't beat him. You know, it felt like he had a whole lot more physical strength than me. And I was 17 years old, my senior year in high school, where I got beat up by the bully Kim Irons. You know, excuse me, I got beat up by her. I think it was more than once she put her hands on me. You know, And she was an abusive, narcissistic perp. Um, and it's like, and a bully. It's like you bullied me in high school, and then in 2018, I, I found out she was a deputy. And it seemed like she was stalking and following me everywhere, like, and trying to control me and trying to insert herself back into my life. But in 2010, I requested to add her as a friend on Facebook, and she yelled at me and said, "Why would I want to add you on a social network when you got me kicked out of Nichols or whatever?" And I forgot all about that, and I had nothing to do with Kim being kicked out of Nichols. Excuse me. So I don't think Kim really got arrested for the time she assaulted me, but she used to bully and beat me up in high school, my senior year in high school, and then after I turned 18, um, we had to go to court, and she didn't show up at court, you know. So I guess we couldn't follow through with the case or the idea of pressing charges or whatever. But then you know, like if I'm a Nichols State University had to have known about Kim bullying me. And that was part of the gang stalking, because how did they put me in the same dorm suite as her? Somebody, I fear, and then, she pretended to be fake nice, you know, when she was right across from me in the dorm, and I stayed to myself, and all I know is, I'm like, why would they put me in the same room? I mean, in the same, it was like a bathroom in between two rooms, and it was considered a suite, dorm suite, SUITE. So her and this light skinned Creole girl were roommates, and I had a private room. And Kim and the girl, I had absolutely no idea. I didn't know that Kim and her roommate was smoking weed. But all I know is Kim got kicked out of Nichols State University. Kim got kicked out of Nichols, and for her and that other girl smoking weed, and I didn't know anything about it. And then all I know is Kim wanted to fight me again. And I didn't even know. She falsely assumed that it was me who told on her. Because I don't even recall smelling weed in the dorm rooms, But I never said anything, and I don't recall smelling anything. But somehow I got scapegoated and falsely accused, and she wanted to fight me again. And so I forgot all about that. And so she added my twin sister was friends with Kim Irons. And, even when we were in high school, my twin sister never defended me against Kim. If her and everybody else sat there and just let me be bullied and abused, And some of my online gang stalkers seem so reminiscent of how Kim treated me. But it's like, how did you get to become a deputy? And she was, had access to multiple vehicles. Like one day, fraudulently and illegally driving around in an Infiniti, another time driving a big F-150 truck. And you know, So, like, I don't know, she must have sold her soul or something. How the hell you get to be a damn deputy and, you didn't even finish college and you got kicked out of college. And I went to Nichols and UNO. I transferred to UNO and I went to a couple of other colleges. And it's like I graduated, but I almost didn't make it, but I graduated and struggling with being homeless or forced low income or can't get a job nowhere. But now I have a little job, but I've been documenting the workplace mobbing and the directed conversations and the gang stalking or being treated mean or whatever. But um so but one time um this girl I went to McDonald 26 with, um I was um I was 17 years old in 12th grade, and this boy stole my bike, you know, and then I finally caught him with my bike and tried to get my bike back. And then a girl like half my height, I thought she was 12, but she was 14, and I was 17, and she beat me up and fight way worse than a man, and she was 14 and way smaller, way shorter than me, you know. And her name was Shakita, um, James or whatever. She beat me up. Now, Shakita, her sister Lakendra, I think when we were in seventh grade and Lakendra was in ninth grade, and Lakendra beat up my twin sister, um, you know, when we were in seventh grade, when they were at gym or PE or whatever together, but I didn't have the same PE class as my twin sister, you know. But they kept me and my twin sister separated. So if one of us got physically assaulted, the other one wasn't around, you know. And so one time we were in eighth grade, and um, they had this boy named Brandon. I think his name was Brandon, and I don't remember what his last name was, but he was in the same special ed class as us, and like I didn't realize the seriousness of it, but he hit me in the back of the head. He hit me in the back of my head with a toy, and then I had like hold up. I had a headache or something, or my head was hurting like all day, and I had to get sent. And the teachers didn't believe me, or the administrators at Gretna Junior High, they didn't believe me or anything. Yeah, I think no, that was a different boy. Yeah, but he hit me in the back of the head with a toy, and my head hurt. I don't remember if it was the back of my head where the assault was, or if I had a headache in the front of my head. I just remember my head hurting so bad that I had to go home. And the foster grandma, Mildred Collins, was still alive at that time. And I think it was her that came and picked me up from school. And I spent the rest of the afternoon at her house until the foster mom came and picked me up. Now, the crazy thing is, something happened where my twin sister got physically assaulted by somebody on the way walking home from school, and she lied on me and said that I was there and pointing and laughing at her. And the foster mom punished me and I got in trouble. And it's like she didn't even allow me to explain that that didn't happen because I was already picked up from school early because I got assaulted. But that boy Brandon, he was a classmate. That I think um I don't know if he I think he acted like as if he was playing around and he hit me in the head. They didn't even take me to the doctor or the hospital. And I heard that when injuries like that happen, like anything could have happened. So, but yeah, but I mean, excuse me, I be feeling like it's like I'm trying to stand up for myself and stand up to people, with this gang stalking. But at the same time, and I I end up getting so angry and so upset and stuff. But I'm too weak to physically fight anybody. I can't even fight nobody. You know, excuse me. But my twin sister and her cult followers, the online perps, they think I deserve to be hurt or killed by the in person perps. Who try to because say for example, if they have a perp, obvious one headlight, red car, arm out of the window, doing it all. You know, I put them on film. Say if it's a female, and I put her on film, and she get out of the car and use the humiliating violence to punish, control, and put me in line or whatever. You know, for exposing her gang stalking me. So if that scenario would have happened, the online perps will say I got, or everybody will feel like I got what I deserve, or that I was the one who started. Especially if people in the TI community tell you, make sure you show their face and make sure you get their license plate. And they always say that the gang stalkers are cowards, that they're cowards that wouldn't do us anything. But yes, gang stalkers will put their doggone hands on you. Excuse me, But, I don't want to fight, or I don't want to get into any physical altercations or fight with anybody. And I be traumatized by violence, like very easily traumatized by violence, especially when I see blood, you know. But, ever since being aware and physically like exposing and filming and recording gang stalking, I have not physically assaulted a perp, you know. But they be trying to trigger and provoke and antagonize us on purpose, us targeted individuals. They try to antagonize and provoke on purpose, you know. And I heard they do it to try to set you up, with their initial narcissistic abuse and our reactive abuse. That's what happened with Lanika in the greedy situation with the track meet, you know. So, I don't want to fight or hurt nobody. The most I do is cuss you out, But I've had moments where, you know, people would trigger my Tourette's so bad, you know, for me to it's rare occasions of that I have like physically lashed out on somebody with the reactive abuse to their initial narcissistic abuse. You know, so but if people put their hands on me, a lot of the times I don't fight back. You know, I'd be too scared to fight back or too defenseless to fight back. You know, excuse me, but I don't even like. Despite taking Taekwondo so many years ago, I don't even really have proper self defense skills, you know, or strategic self defense skills, you know, and then me being forced to be out there on the streets and vulnerable and homeless. You know, they want me to be as unsafe and vulnerable and out in the open as possible, you know. Excuse me. So, I mean, with that situation with where they were gonna put their hands on me in Pensacola, and that lady was this close to you know, extremely close to putting her hands on me, and she was making threats to kill me. And she said, "Cause you know, cause not everybody gonna spare you." But if Miss Ross did not walk out just in time, you know, excuse me, that lady would have done who knows what to me. Her and her daughter were bullying, harassing, and threatening me. And then the Whitney perp, I got video footage of her bullying, harassing, and threatening me. And perping with the red at that. You know. Yeah, that was a dangerous and dealing with stuff like that. I can't even fucking have permanent housing. You know. Excuse me, but excuse me. But the last time I may have physically assaulted or hit somebody unprovoked, um, I could have been like in fourth grade. No, fifth, fifth grade. You know, excuse me. But like, I don't, you know, I don't try to fight people unprovoked. I don't try to call people names or hurt people or, you know, or cuss people out unprovoked, or for no reason. If I gotta cuss you out or go off on you or lash out on you, it's because you did me something first. You know, it's because you did me something first. But, you know, I've had numerous times where I could have and should have, you know, fought back. And I was going to, I mean, no, it was in transition period between, um, you know, after Nichols, but before transferring to UNO. Um, excuse me. Oh yeah, wait a minute. It was somebody part of the LGBT community. Um, he has such a vulnerable. I mean, I'm sorry. He has such a vulgar nickname that I can't even mention the nickname on here. But I was 19 going on 20, or 19 and a half years old. And I beat him up. I beat him up. Him and this other, person, you know, oh man, that's a whole, I mean, he had, excuse me, he robbed me out of my money and threatened to cut me. And then, that's a whole nother video for me to talk in detail about that situation. But he robbed me out of my money and threatened to cut me. And and him and the other guy, they ran off with my phone. This was in the French Quarter. And I was staying at Covenant House. Well, we were staying at Covenant House at that time. And you know, they pretended to treat me to lunch, and then they ran off without paying, and then at the same time stole my phone. And it was at this place called Cafe Masperos. And I almost got arrested because they pretended to fake like they were treating me to lunch. Yeah, with my own money that you stole from me. But I was young and I didn't know the idea of connecting dots, so I didn't have any street sense, because the foster mom kept us overly sheltered. And so, after a while, I caught up with the guys, and well, one of them, and the guy flaunted my smack brand new phone, my first cell phone of my entire life, and he waved the phone in my face, and I fought him trying to get my phone, and that was the last time that that I was able to beat somebody's ass. And that was a dude, and I beat him up. I beat him up. But then this female, masculine female, half my height, and she beat me up, butted in and beat me up and fight worse than a man. Way worse than a man. And nearly killed me. And she was bigger, like fat, as far as fat goes. She was fatter than me, but half my height, and fight worse than a man. And then, seemed like she was beating on me for what seemed like an eternity. And nobody stepped in to help. Right after I beat him up, trying to get my damn phone. And so, because of that, that smack brand new phone, I only had it a couple of days. And then I was forced to have a refurbished phone that did not work. And excuse me. But then there was a guy that defended me and beat him up and said, told him that he shouldn't be putting his hands on a female. But the guy who he defended me against being beat up. But then when she butted in and beat me up, she didn't even know why we were fighting. But she just wanted an excuse to fight somebody, I guess. And she put me in a hospital. And then the paramedics abused me, and nobody believed my story when and they wanted to put me in a mental ward in Charity Hospital, and they didn't want to believe me trying to tell them the truth. Excuse me. So, I mean, and I'm pretty sure I was already targeted back then, thinking back, So, it's really scary out here, And the gang stalkers, if they threaten you, they will hurt you too. And other targeted individuals have been assaulted and outright murdered by gang stalkers. Like I saw somebody back in 2019 um that said that she was targeted by police and and she showed her lip being swollen and like split open by the injury and assault from the police officer assaulting her, you know. But she professed to be like a female to male transgender, you know. And you know, she was said that that was the reason why she was being like targeted by police or something. But I remember watching those videos on YouTube, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, you hear about TIs in the staged car accidents or TIs that get hit by a car, and you know, or targeted individuals who had their houses or cars being blown up or set on fire. I mean, the perps call us crazy, but they do crazy shit to us, you know. But then, you know, I've heard about even other professed targeted individuals being physically assaulted or people attempting murder on their lives for speaking the truth about whatever corruption. So how are we supposed to ignore all this targeting and the perps can and will, you know, put their hands on us? So anyway, though, I need to, you know, try. I mean, I'm trying my best to stay to myself and stay away from people, stay out of trouble, and stay away from violence, you know. But, you know, people falsely accuse me of going around and harassing when it's the other way around. And it's like, you know, I'd be frustrated, like panhandling. I'd be frustrated and be like, how am I supposed to live? Like, I'd be panicking. Like, how am I supposed to live? You know, excuse me. But I'm like, well, I'm glad to have a job. Or I feel like, well, I can't believe I'm employed again. I can't believe I have a job. But, you know, I have been so used to being unemployed that me finally having a job, it seems awkward, you know, unusual, you know. But I'm glad to have a job, and I just wish that I could be to a point where I could be financially independent enough, you know, where I, but the perps will make sure that I don't get to that point. For me to be financially independent enough to not have to ask for donations or not have to panhandle. And then when you make your own money, you know, from your own labor, you know, and then be able to pay it forward and help others, um, it really help you feel better, you know, to be able to spend my own money that I work for without having to answer to anyone or without anybody trying to control what you spend it on or how you spend it. But the perps still try to control what's not their business, you know. So, but I had to beg and panhandle while in the process of looking for a job. Like I would be at the Riverwalk charging my phone and uploading YouTube videos or even sometimes TikTok videos. I don't even much upload that many videos to TikTok that much because it seems like it's just so complicated and difficult. Now I don't even bother uploading videos anymore to TikTok that much. Um, so I mean every now and then, but not as much, you know. But but I'm glad to have a job, and but I mean I just wish that I can have like an additional stream of income enough where I won't have to beg or panhandle or ask for anything, and where I can have, be able to afford to pay for my own, survival or living, but the perps won't let me. And they keep sabotaging me away from everything, making everything harder. You know, I mean, so I mean, if I would have been able to keep the job and stay at the extended stay for a month, that would have been a lot less that I would need to ask for or have to ask for. But that got ruined. But I've still been trying to look around um for a housing opportunity, but I'm scared of you know I'm scared of living with people because of if you got a crooked roommate, um if they might be violent and put their hands on you or have you in the hospital or straight up take your life, or even neighbors, you know. I mean, I'm traumatized and scared around being around people. Um, you know. But thanks for listening to me ramble on and everything. What time is it now? It's 11:51 p.m. Um, so yeah, it's yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to find ways like how do I survive? How do I live off of, um look like I can't even get my own place because the landlords will tell me that my social security check plus the two paychecks from the job per month, that all that combined is still not enough to meet the 3.5 times the rent. And it's like, wow, if I got a job and social security, and because I don't have permanent housing, it will make it harder for me to get a car. Can't even get a car either. So I'm gonna go for now. Thanks for listening to me. I'll see y'all.